Welcome, everybody, to Hustle Live Millionaire Mindset. My name is Jonathan Bodnar. I am your host. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day today. It is Monday. Monday is my absolute favorite day. It's coming off a long weekend, and let's face it, nobody works Friday anyway. So you got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that you're just sitting around vegging. And usually about Sunday afternoon, I am ready to just get right back to work. I've had all these ideas over the weekend. I always know that I've rested and that I've properly taken a step back when my brain just starts coming up with ideas again. And so, so this week we are super excited at Hustle because this is Mint Week. We are minting our founder cards at the end of this week on Thursday and Friday. If you want more information about the founder cards and the project as a whole, we would love to have you join our Discord and hang out with us. You can go to hustlenft.com. That is HUSL. NFT.com to learn more about what we're doing. But today is Millionaire Mindset. So this is a show where I get to break down some of the mindset elements that it really takes to become a millionaire. And today we're going to be talking about how to be successful at anything. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a manager, whether you're a W-2, whether you're working in a drive-through, whether you're building a business, have built a business before, starting an NFT project, or just starting a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is pretty new, but we're growing every day, and we love bringing new and fresh content to you. And so it does not matter what it is you are doing. Everybody wants to be successful at it, right? So today we're going to dig through how to be successful at anything. Now you might be asking, well, Jonathan, why should we listen to you? What have you done in your life that merits you sitting here and telling us how to be successful? And it's a very good question. I actually get very frustrated when I see like online coaches or ads on Facebook that are all like, follow my 7 steps to becoming a millionaire. And you look at them and you're like, I don't think you've made $1 million in your life. Or, people that are like, I can teach you how to make, $25,000, $30,000 every single month. And you know them personally and they make $2,000 or $3,000 a month, and or they go and sell their courses. And so we all know those people. We've all seen those people online. And so, it's a valid question to ask, and you should ask every single person that's trying to teach you anything, anybody that gives you any amount of advice. You should first ask, well, what have you done in that area? And, even small things like marriage. When I first got married 6 years ago to my wife, my incredible wife, when I first got married, a bunch of people tried giving me advice. And I'm like, you're divorced. Why would I take your advice if you're divorced? Like, clearly your marriage didn't work out. And so, which a lot of people are divorced. A lot of marriages don't work out. But it's sometimes hard to take those people seriously and take their advice seriously. So you're asking, why should I listen to you, Jonathan? Why does it matter? What do you have to say that I don't already know? So I was homeless 12 years ago now. And from there, I started working on small businesses. Some of you have heard the story. I've walked through it, so I'm not going to dig too far deep into it. But I started homeless 11 or 12 years ago and have built and sold multi-million-dollar companies now in the past 4 years. I sold my first company, I think 3.5 years ago, first big company. And so, and since then, I have sold 2 other companies, and all of them in the multi-million-dollar sale range. And so the reality is I don't know it all. I've lived a very interesting life. I've had to learn everything I know in business through hard work, time, effort, failing, a lot of failing. We talked last Millionaire Morning, last Monday, we talked about failures and what it took to fail in business and why you should be okay with failing. And I learned everything that I know by failing or watching somebody else or reading. I mean, reading, it's one thing to fail yourself and to figure it out. It's another thing to be able to glean off somebody else's mistakes and lessons, which is why I do these videos in the first place. Is I really want to give you the opportunity to learn from my mistakes and the things that cost me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in mistakes. I want you to be able to have the opportunity to learn off of those mistakes. Whether you're a manager, you're a business owner, you're just in the drive-through, it doesn't matter what you're doing, what your hobby is, what your projects you're working on. It doesn't matter, because everybody wants to be successful in those projects. And so I want to be able to convey those failures that I've made in the past and the successes that I've made, and what I learned by doing those. And so again, today I want to talk, I have 5 different points on how to be successful at anything. So success is, a funny thing, because you'll notice that people that find success never ever have the moment of, I've made it. Because there's like this brief, like week-long, woo, I'm going to go, buy whatever car I want, I'm going to go do this or whatever. But at some point, whether it's a week, a month, 6 months, a year down the road, successful people stop and they say, well, great, I've made it. Now what? Like, what do I do? Like, what's the purpose of life at this point? Because I've made money, my family's taken care of. What next? And so successful people never actually have that like long lasting, I've made it and I've arrived. There's always something bigger. And I know it sounds crazy, but even after $1 million, $2 million hits your bank account, you look at it and you're like, okay, but what now? Because we as people want to create, we as people want to invent, we want to solve big problems in this world. We want to do big things for the people around us. And so you're never satisfied. You'll never be satisfied with, X amount of money in your bank. And you might say, oh, I will, once $1 million, I'd be super happy. And it's like, yeah, trust me, money solves a lot of problems. I'm not tone deaf. I understand the audience I'm speaking to. I understand that money can do a lot of things in people's lives. And, and it has. I've heard stories in our Discord about so-and-so won this money, or we sent them this much money, and they're like, I can pay rent now. Or I can buy groceries now, or my kids don't have to worry about, whether I'm going to drive them to school, or whether they have to take the bus, or, all of those things that are very real issues in people's lives. Money solves a lot of problems. But what money doesn't do is it doesn't actually get you to success in a sense. And you have to kind of start with the question of what is success? How do we define success? If money isn't the measurement of success, which a lot of people think that money is a measurement of success because they see all these people on TV and on Instagram, but the reality is all of that is lies. All of that's fake. At the end of the day, those people are just as lonely and searching for something bigger as you are, searching for something that means anything at all, like any amount of feeling. Why do you think we're such daredevils in our lives? Why do you think we like risk or poker or gambling or, anything? Why do we drink and eat sugar and, candy and all of that stuff? It's because our brains are constantly looking for that next big thing, that next high, that next. Money doesn't solve that, because once it hits your account, you're like, okay, great. It's a bunch of ones and zeros. I can go pay all this stuff off. My life is easier. Money makes your life easier. But is money really success? Because what is success? Is success you having everything you need? Is success your family having everything they need? Is your success measurable? Because let's face it, all you can do with money is earn it or spend it, right? That's it. It either sits there and waits as you pile it up, or you spend it. So it's just a number that gets taken away. The IRS can take away your money. The banks can take away your money. Bills can take away your money. Family can take away your money. Money can be taken at any moment. So you have to ask yourself, well, if money can be taken away, is that really my success? Because can success be taken from somebody. I personally think if you're going to talk about what makes someone a successful person, then you have to ask yourself, what cannot be taken away from them? Money can be taken away. Well, you might ask, or you might say, okay, time. How much time does that person have left? That's the measurement of success. Well, what's the point of being rich young if you have all the time in the world and nothing to spend it on and no one to give it to and no big mission or project or passion to really fight for? Think about all these artists on MTV or on YouTube, these people that got rich overnight. And then even, I know it sounds cheesy, but even Justin Bieber has a song, that's, what's the point of having all this money if it's so fucking lonely? And I don't know if I'm supposed to say that on a YouTube live, but anyway. So at the end of the day, even these, people that we idolize, these, incredibly big personalities, people that have all the money in the world, they're lonely. They try and do charity events. They try and do these big things because they're like, what's the purpose? After you have it all, what do? So you can't define success as money or time because both of them are measured in how much we have left. Time is measured in how much you've spent, right? So $1 million sitting in your bank account, great. I've got $1 million. You've made $1 million bucks. That's amazing. That's fantastic. So it's measured in how much you've accumulated, but money only gets spent. And so at the end of the day, it's really and should be measured in how much you've spent, because think about it. You go and buy a nice car, and that's how you measure your success. Or you go and buy a nice house. Well, you spent that money on something. So money is only measured in what you've spent. Time is only measured in what you've spent. I'm 31 years old. Well, that's 31. I still have a good, hopefully 60, 70 years ahead of me, but we don't measure time in how much is left. We measure time in how much we've spent. And so neither money can be defined as your success because it can be taken away and it's measured in how much you've spent. And time can't be measured as a measurement of accumulative success because how much time you have left is measured in how much you've spent. You're 31, you're 32, you're 35. People can take your time away. What if, I know it's terrible and macabre, but what if somebody were to run you over, for example? That's the end of your life. There's your time. So is that the measurement of your success, is how much time that you've accumulated or how much time that you've got left? No, because it can be taken away at any moment. So what can't be taken away? I'm curious what you think in the comments. Drop it in the comments, but I'm really curious, what do you think cannot be taken away from you? What would you measure success as in your life? Me personally, I look at it and I say, okay, the third thing that most people would say is influence, right? So how many people are around you? How many people that you have a voice over? How big is your Instagram audience? How big is your Twitter audience? Influence, we call them influencers for a reason. And so if you're an influencer, man, you've reached it. You're there. You've gotten there. You've found success. But influence can be taken away in a moment. Think about Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, his entire life, he had influence over the film industry, right? But it got taken away in a minute because of something he did. So influence can be taken. And for me personally, and some of you may have heard me talk about this, but for me personally, I believe that the only thing that cannot be taken away from you and the only way to define success is impact. What is it that you are leaving in every single person that talks to you and hangs out with you? And we've talked a little bit about this before, but I wanted to deep dive into it. Impact is, think about it like everybody walking around with a Sharpie, right? And every time you talk to somebody, you mark them just a little bit. You take a Sharpie and you just mark them. And everybody's going to walk around with a million different marks on them. But which one of those marks are going to shine the brightest? Which one of those marks are going to make the most impact? Which one of those marks stands out from the crowd? That's what impact is what you leave in every single person you talk to. My goal is to make sure that everybody that I talk to feels some sense of hope, feels some sense of, I can do this. It's going to work out. It's going to be okay. This is going to make sense, and it's all going to be okay, and it's all going to work out. That's what I want to leave at every single person I talk to, is hope and inspiration. I want people to know that there is so much in this world and in this life that you are capable of doing, and that is possible if you just are willing to have the mindset and willing to shift your thinking and everything. And that's the stuff that I want to leave in people, is the passion and the inspiration and a new fire lit in them to do stuff. That's why I'm doing Hustle. That's why I'm creating Hustle, is I want to help people realize that you don't have to work for just anybody. You don't have to sit there and spend all your time slaving away on a 9-to-5. You can actually solve big problems in this world, or even little problems in your world. You can solve things. Big problems are solved one step at a time. And we're talking about how to be successful at anything. Well, that's a perfect example. Big problems are solved one tiny step at a time. You don't eat an elephant all at once. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so all that being said, that's the impact that I want to leave in people. And so impact in my definition, I guess, success means that you've left an impact, because impact can never, ever, ever be taken away. And so success is measured in the only thing that can never be taken away from you, which is the impact that you left in every single person. You can accumulate impact. Think about Harvey Weinstein. Lived a horrible life, did horrible things. He lost all of his influence. But guess what? He impacted the film industry forever. Forever. They can't take his impact because he innovated. Say Elon Musk. I freaking love Elon Musk. A lot of crypto people, it's like up or down or, whatever. People have all sorts of opinions about everybody. I'm sure everybody has a lot of opinions about me, and that's okay. But Elon Musk, he incredible. An innovator, has done incredible things. But imagine if something happens. Say he does something that's unforgivable, terrible. A lot of people say buying, or attempting to buy Twitter and then backing out was unforgivable. Elon Musk, we can't forgive him. But think about it. If he does something that is truly unforgivable, like Harvey Weinstein, and at that point, everybody just, whatever, we're going to cancel him. Well, Tesla will keep going. So will SpaceX. Because they innovated. They left such a big impact on the world, and they left such a big impact on the people around them because of their innovations. They took rockets from costing literally hundreds of millions of dollars to launch to tens of millions of dollars to launch, because the rockets came back to Earth, which everybody said was impossible. Everybody said, oh no, we won't have electric vehicles until 2040 or something. And all of a sudden, Elon Musk's like, nope, we're going to figure it out. We're going to solve this problem now. You can't take away impact. No matter what you do to that person, no matter what happens in your life, what you leave in every single person, the impact that you create in the lives around you cannot be taken away from you. And so that is my true measurement of success. That is how I accumulate success, and how I view and measure my own personal success in my life is how much impact have I had in the people around me. So let's dive in to how to be successful at anything. Now that we've defined success as the impact that you are leaving in the people around you, it's gonna make sense, because you might be saying, what does this have to do with making $1 million? That's my goal, is making $1 million. Jonathan, you made all this money. Tell us how to make money. Tell us how to, be successful in life. And the reality is you can't be successful until you first figure out what success is to you. What are you chasing if you don't even know, if you haven't defined it? Everybody's like, oh, I want to be, I want to be rich. Well, define that. Technically, if you live in America, you're top 1% in the entire world. You're rich, by just living here. So what is it that you are actually chasing? What is success to you? And I've already told you what it is to me, but I want to know what it is to you. What drives your success? So now that we've defined our own personal success, we're going to talk about how to be successful at anything. So the first thing that I really attribute to having success in just about anything that you do is having the right vision / motivation. So this might sound simple, but the reality is that if you just chase something to chase it, or if you make money to make it, then you're not going to make any money. That's the problem. Is you have to have something beyond money. You have to have something beyond. Let's just say your goal is to build a product, right? Your goal is to build some SaaS product that solves a world problem. Well, that's amazing, but if all you ever did was build it, then that's not very successful, right? Because nobody's using it. Nobody's being impacted by it. It's not actually being distributed. You're not making any money off of it if that's your goal. So you have to define vision is what you see beyond. Vision is not right now. You can close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes real quick. And you can hear my voice, you can smell, you can feel. That's the present. That's right now. That's what's around you, right? Vision is what you see beyond you. Vision is where am I going and why am I going there? And so when you define a vision, if you're going to be successful at doing anything, and yes, it's as simple as, or it's as applicable to both being a manager, being a drive-through agent, being anything, building a business, building a project, it doesn't matter. These principles can be broken down into small, applicable projects as well. So having the right vision and having the right motivation post-vision, which means here's where I want to go, and this is what's driving that. So you think about a vehicle towing another vehicle, right? So the vision is the vehicle itself. And you're saying, I'm going to go over here, right? And actually, this is a terrible analogy because it should be reversed. So it's a terrible analogy. Sorry, guys. I'm sitting there in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't actually make as much sense as I thought it made. But my point being is vision is where you're going and your motivation is beyond where you're going, the thing one step further. So the vision for Hustle, for example, is that we're going to replace 9-to-5 jobs for as many people as we possibly can. We are going to build 5,000 automated online businesses that are taking people out of their 9-to-5s. If they don't want to work their 9-to-5s, if they love their jobs, fantastic. Well, that provides extra wealth for their family and long-term generational wealth that they are generating. So the vision is to get people out of their 9-to-5s. Well, what's the motivation? Why? What is dragging that? You got the car and the car behind it that it's towing. The car is the vision, but what's behind the car, right? So what is pulling that vision? What is pulling that objective? What is pulling that goal? Because if you don't have something beyond the goal, then when you reach the goal, we go back to the beginning when we talked about success. When you reach that goal, when you finally found success in that area, guess what? You're going to sit there and you're going to be like, great, I reached it. Now what? If you don't have a motivation, a vision beyond the goal and beyond that objective. So our objective is to free thousands of people from their 9-to-5s, right? To build a life of freedom and impact. So let's say we do that. Let's say, we mint out, everybody loves it, everybody's making thousands of dollars a month, happy, whatever. Then what, right? Why did you do that? What's the purpose behind that? Why does that actually matter? What's the motivation? Another term for motivation is purpose. What is your long-term purpose? What are you actually trying to accomplish in the world? Not just, here, I'm going to do this. This is my goal. This is my objective. I'm going to build this product. But what's the actual objective? What is your vision, the thing, the purpose, the thing that is beyond the objective should be so big that you can't see it happen, that you never, ever see it complete. I know that sounds crazy, but the vision should be so vast. Whatever is pulling your objective, if you're going to make anything successful in life, You need a vision and a mission that is so big that you can reach the objectives, but you'll never, ever, ever see the fullness of that vision completed. And the reason I say that, I have this absolute favorite quote. It's I think it's unknown. I don't know, but it's a society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they will never get to experience. That to me is what vision means. And with the long term, what is driving your objectives? What's driving your goals? What's driving whatever it is that you're building? The thing that you will never, ever fully see accomplished. I hope personally that the impact that I have in this world lasts forever. I hope that I never get to see it. I hope that for the next 10 years, the things that, even if people forget my name, I don't care. Like I don't give a crap about me being remembered. I just want to look down from wherever I'm at, hopefully heaven, and look down and say, wow, like people are still reaping the benefits of the hard work that I did when I was there. So old men planting trees, the shade of which they will never experience. What is the big vision that you personally will never get to see? And using that to drive anything. Literally anything will lead to success. So if you have a vision that's bigger than you, bigger than anything you're doing, bigger than the objective, not just I want to build this website or I want to build this company or why? To what end? Because we just talked about how money doesn't define success. Time doesn't define success. Influence doesn't define success. Impact defines success. You need time, money, and influence to have impact, but those aren't success. Impact is the vision beyond your objectives that is so big that you can't reach it alone and that you won't ever see the fullness of what you accomplish. And it's what's driving, it's what's pulling. When you create just a vision or just an objective and you say, I'm going to build this business. Well, great, you get there and then what? But if you have a vision and that vision is pulling that business, then the vision pulls the business into success, the impact, the long-term change in the world that you want to cause is pulling that business into success. Think about it as a driving factor. I mention a lot how the catalyst to my personal success was giving. I believe that one of the reasons that I have made millions and millions of dollars in my life, I've probably generated close to $10 million by the time I'm 31 now, easily $10 million and between all of my businesses. And I attribute, one of the biggest things I attribute to my success is giving, because giving is one of my visions. And it's one of the long-term impact pillars that I've created. I've said one of the best ways to impact the world is to give to nonprofits. That's how you scale giving, right? Or you scale impact, because you can't do it all yourself. So giving is driving my businesses, and it's dragging me into success because it has to. By nature, it has to. I give, our businesses give 10% gross revenue every single year. We went from giving away about $20,000 a year to giving away $400,000 year to date. For $400,000, we're not even done with the year yet. It has to, the nature of anything that's bigger than you, it's a universal principle. It's a universal law. It drags you into success. When you pick something, when you envision something that's so much bigger than you, when you envision something you cannot accomplish yourself, and when you take slow, meaningful steps to get there. I did not get rich overnight. I didn't go from 20,000 to 400,000 overnight in giving to charity. I didn't. It took me years. It took me probably 4 or 5 years to get there. Maybe even longer than that if you account, the previous years where I just gave out of my own pocket all the time. And I still give out. I give 10% of everything I make personally and I give 10% of everything the businesses make. And I don't say that so you can pat me on the back. I don't need your encouragement. I don't need your, hoo-yah, that's awesome, Jonathan, because guess what? My reward is the impact, because that's all I care about. My reward is when I get to sit at a gala or something like that, and I get to see the hundreds of people that we funded, the thousands of children that we get to fund every year for Christmas. We get to buy Christmas presents for kids every single year, thousands of kids who otherwise wouldn't have Christmas. Their parents told them, hey, you're not going to get Christmas. We can't afford it. So we're all going to make each other gifts. That was my childhood. After my parents got divorced, my mom told us, hey, we're not going to have Christmas. Let's draw each other cute photos, or cute pictures with crayons and stuff. But now, because of a universal principle that you can enact about having a vision beyond what you're building, beyond the objective, to drag your objective into success, because of that universal principle, I found success. So you might say, okay, Jonathan, this sounds wishy-washy. This sounds like, some TED Talk kind of thing, that is not practical. It is incredibly practical. It is the most practical thing I've ever done. Because you know why? Think of it like this. Money is a bag of seeds. You either plant it so it grows more, eat it, or let it sit there and rot. That's it. You eat your seeds because you're hungry. You let it sit there and rot because you have too much of it and you're not doing anything with it. So you're not eating it and you're not planting it, or you plant it. Well, guess what happens when you plant a seed? It grows more seeds. That's a general natural principle in the world. We can all agree with that. If you plant a seed, it'll grow another tree or another plant that generates more seeds. That's the entire point, is reproduction. So if you can plant the thing that you need most in this world, if you can take money and plant it, then guess what? That's what you're going to reap. And I'm not talking about just, giving is amazing, giving to charity, but also investing in people. Who are the people around you that you could be like, you know what? You're a really good person. Like, I believe in you. I believe in this idea. I don't have much, but here's a little bit. Give me whatever you think is fair, whatever. Investing in the people around you. We, Joel and I talked about that in the lab last Wednesday, was your personal networks, how to, really build a community of people that love you, that care about you, that help you advance in life, that make you better, that sharpen you. And one of the biggest principles is, well, if you need friendship, go be a friend, right? I mean, it sounds basic, but it's the truest thing. It is the most practical application or principle, business principle, success principle out there, is plant what you need most in the world. You need money? Go give money. Just plant it. Go sow into, nonprofits, charities, whatever you feel like. Go plant what you need most. So the point number 2 is having the right vision and the right motivation. We're talking about how to be successful at anything. And we first defined what success meant. And then we talked about having the right vision and the right motivation. And next, the third point about how to be successful at anything is having faith. Having faith in yourself and in your product, and believing that it is actually possible. And I know that sounds as wishy-washy as the first point. Jonathan, this is not practical. Well, guess what? If you walk around, let's say you start a business and you walk around saying, oh, I don't know if this business, I'm not sure about it. Do you really think that customers are going to sign up for that business? Do you really think that your friends and family are going to think that it's going to be successful? Imagine, okay, you all are NFT people, right? So think about in the NFT world and the cryptocurrency world, if somebody is building a project and they go to you and they say, hey, I've got this idea for this project. And you're like, wow, that's an incredible project. And then they said, yeah, I'm really not sure if it's going to be successful or not, or work, but will you buy one? Why would I buy one if you yourself don't even think that this thing is going to be successful? If you want to make anything successful in life, you have to believe in it. There is a lot of Joel and I on Wednesday are going to talk a lot about the power of your brain and the ability for you to actually, some people call it manifest, some people call it, the Christians call it faith and stuff. It doesn't matter. You sitting there and believing that something is actually possible, what kind of power does that actually have? Because scientists have proven that your thoughts have an effect on the things around you. My sister has 3 doctorates and is a genius. And she actually did a doctorate exhortation or whatever they're called. I don't even know. I didn't go to school. So she did this doctorate on, or got her doctorate on the fact that your mind has the ability to actually, scientifically, your brain can cause things to move around you. What? That sounds like sci-fi. That sounds like, what's it called? Star Wars, or, using the Force or whatever. And it's like, no, that it's real science. We'll talk about that more on Wednesday. I don't want to go too far into that. But if you want to make anything successful, if you want to be successful at anything, you have to first believe that it's possible. If you don't think that it's possible, and here's the biggest reason that matters. So sure, you have outside people. Your customers won't care. The people involved that won't care because you don't care and you don't think it's real. They're not going to follow something. Why would you follow a vision or a mission? Think about people going to war. Do you think that people willingly go into war if they know that they're going to die or if they know it fails? Yes, we have an incredible, especially in America, it is amazing how patriotic people are, and they go and serve knowing there's a possibility that they're going to sacrifice themselves. But we don't follow a mission if we don't believe in the bigger vision of it. The reason that American soldiers are willing to go to battle, whatever your political beliefs are, it doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about how somebody can go to war. And sure, they can say, I may very well, be killed in this battle. I may very well not make it home. And why do you think they do that? Do you think they do that because they just don't care and whatever? It doesn't. No, they do it because they believe in the bigger vision. They do it because they believe in America. They believe in freedom. They believe in people being able to choose their religion and choose their ethnicity, or excuse me, not their ethnicity, their direction in life, their gender, their freedom to choose their sex, whatever you believe in at that point. Like, they believe in the freedom to make these decisions, to do whatever you want to do in life, to build whatever you want to build in life. That is the vision that is driving them to make the sacrifice that they're making. But they have to believe in that. And somebody has to be at the top that also believes in that vision for the army to follow them. So I don't know if you guys ever watched Game of Thrones, but think about when Snow in season 3, Snow's leading his people into battle. And I don't remember who it was against, maybe the Targaryens or something like that. I can't remember, but, and he's got to give this speech about, actually encouraging them. Hey, this is this is what we're doing, and we're going to succeed. Whether you live through this or not, we are going to succeed. And I know that's a macabre way of putting all of this, dark way, but it's the reality. You have to believe in what you're building. If you don't believe in the success of what you're building, if you don't have faith that it can actually happen, then your brain will not do the work required to get there. Why? Why would your brain's entire job is to do as little as possible? Did you know that? Your brain's goal, and I said we weren't going to talk about this, but your brain's goal is to protect you at all costs, to do everything as efficient as possible. Do you think about breathing? No, because your brain handles it, and it handles it in the back and whatever. It's stowed away and it's automated. Nobody cares, Do you think about your heart pumping? No, because your brain is doing the work in the background. Your entire job for your brain is to actually make your body and your thoughts and your brain and your actions more efficient. That's why your brain loves habits. The more habits you can automate, the more happy your brain is, and the more you can focus on solving problems, because it's no longer focused on these automation tasks, right? So your brain will not solve problems for you if it does not believe that it's even possible to solve the problem. Do you know that? Like, your brain will shut off if you say, oh, I've got to make $200 in the next day. Man, it's just not possible. Your brain shuts off and says, okay, it's not possible. That's it. And the weird thing is belief doesn't start. Faith doesn't start in your mind. Faith is not a thought, right? Faith is actually, it comes from down here. And I'm not going to get into, religious stuff or anything, but at the end of the day, your brain doesn't create faith. Your spirit or you or your whatever, you believe in that sense. Like, I believe your spirit, soul, body, and your mind, your brain is an organ that's doing the work for you, but you are not your brain. So your spirit is the one that has faith and belief that something is possible. And then it goes to the brain. And then your brain says, wait a minute. Okay. So if it's possible, how? If it's possible, how? Why would your brain think about your heart? If your heart as an organ was hardwired to think, nope, it's not possible to keep beating, what's it going to do? It's going to stop beating. It's just the reality of it, And I know this sounds wishy-washy, but if you do not believe that it is possible to succeed, you will never succeed. So I'm going to stop beating that dead horse. Point 4 on how to be successful at anything is time. So there's two pieces of this. The right time, which means something has to be built at the right time. I personally believe what we're building in Hustle is the right time to be building it. Yes, we're in a bear market. We understand that. We understand that we're in a recession in America. We also understand that all of the world markets are down. We're in a rough bear market right now. And not financial advice, I just don't see it getting any better, not for a little while. But I believe that the projects that are putting in the work now, the projects that are offering true utility, the NFT projects that are actually offering value and long-term benefit for their customers. And, it's an added bonus that Hustle is offering ongoing reoccurring revenue that you can build through these businesses that have been pre-developed and pre-designed and pre-built for you. That's just an added bonus. That's a great piece of it. And what better time to build revenue than a bear market? What better time to build a product that creates ongoing revenue, whether the market is up or down? That's amazing. What better time to create an NFT that you control the value of instead of the market controlling the value of? Because all of your NFTs in your wallet, I dare you, show me, 10% of your wallet that's actually increased in value right now. Right now. They haven't. Everything's down. But if our businesses were alive today, if they were launched right now today and generating people actual monthly cash flow, the value every single time that they get a new customer on one of those 5,000 businesses, the value of that NFT goes up. The value of whatever NFT was minted for that business goes up every single time. It's not dependent on the market. It's not dependent on the recessions or whatever. It is 100% up to you how you build this business, how big you grow it. And it's very easy. And no business experience is necessary. And I'm getting way off track. So whatever you're building, if you want to be successful at anything, it has to be done at the right time. So the right thing at the right time, you've heard it a million times, but the right time is really important because if, let's say, what we're doing now, I don't think really would have been successful a year ago in the NFT space. I don't know if the NFT space was ready for it. What a lot of projects are doing now, it would have been, people would have looked at it and said, it's too complicated. Why are you doing this on an NFT? But now that the market has really been open to utilities and breaking out of the PFP, it makes sense. And it is the right time. When we first started building ChurchBase, we ended up, Apple shut us down, yada, yada, yada. So when Apple shut the first version of ChurchBase down, they said, we're no longer publishing church apps, apps that do these content structures or whatever. And we're just shutting it down. So everybody in the industry, the church app industry, just never published an app. They were like, okay, we don't know what we're going to do kind of thing, right? So then we decided at Churchbase, we said, okay, well, as everybody else is freaking out and doing something called container apps, which is one app and all these apps in it, and you search for the app and stuff, we were like, no, that's not what people want. People want their individual app. So how do we build their individual app? And we figured it out. It took belief. It took like, hey, there's a possibility here. Everybody else said, nope, it's not possible. Apple said no. We were like, how do we do it? And we figured it out. And we were the very first church app company to go back on the App Store and be able to produce hundreds of apps on the App Store. And we lost a $2 to $3 million contract in that process. It was not a fun process at all. And it would have been easy to give up. But we believed that it was possible. And it was also the right time for the right solution. It was the perfect time. And that in large part is why we were able to sell our company 3 years later to the date of Apple shutting us down. We sold the company, and a multi-million-dollar exit. We walked away and we were like, holy crap, like we did it. So the right time. The other thing is the right amount of time. That's a big thing. You guys know as well as I do, especially in the NFT world, if you want a project to be successful, you have to give the community a good amount of time to learn, to build, to grow, have a core community. We've been around for about 4 months, I think, and we've built an incredible community. We're, about to breach, my hope is 6K, this 6,000 people on the Discord this week. So I'm super excited about that. I think we'll get there. But the right amount of time. Anything needs time. You can't just expect something to be built overnight. What's built overnight fails overnight. Most people say Rome wasn't built overnight. And that's the truth. That's the reality. It was built over hundreds of years of work and history and learning how to do written language, learning how to create all of this, the stuff they created. Well, actually, it was mostly the Etruscans. It wasn't the Romans. But anyway, we won't get into that. I love history, but the right amount of time to be successful at anything, you have to give it the right amount of time. Let me check the clock. All right. I only have a few more minutes, so I'm going to race through these. So giving it the right amount of time is paramount because it's important that even if you're doing things like YouTube, you might look at my YouTube and say, oh, why are you doing these every single day? If 100, 200, 300 people are watching them, don't you want thousands and thousands of views? Well, guess what? It takes reps. I haven't spoken in front of a camera in years. And you can go back and watch my first couple of videos. It was probably really awkward. And it still probably is pretty awkward. But it takes the right amount of reps. If you want to be successful at anything, you have to have experience. The best people in the world at any field have been at it for years and years and years and years. And, Joel Scrivener talks about that a lot. He talks about getting reps. It's so important and whether it's in front of your mirror, whether it's on a camera, and on a camera is actually pretty cool because it forces you, especially when you're live. Most of our views, probably about 90% of our views come after we went live, right? So you think about it and you're like, well, why did you do it live? I do it live on purpose. I do it live so it forces me to get it right the first time. I can't stop, record, oh, I said that was awkward. I'm going to pause no, I just got to keep talking. I just got to keep going. And so it really gives me reps. It makes me better at what I'm doing. I'm speaking at Joel's church, his nonprofit organization. And I'm going to talk about giving and donating to charity and the importance of really giving back and, how it drives success. So it'll be a business, whatever, lecture if you want to call it that. But before I do that, I'm doing that in about 2 months. I have to get reps. I have to get comfortable on stage again. Cause it's, like I said, it's been like 10 years since I've been on stage at all. And I used to do a lot of public speaking and then I did none at all, nothing. And so it's all about getting reps. How many times, the more you do it, the more comfortable you do it. When I first started pitching Hustle, it was kind of like, what we're doing is we're building this NFT project that, kind of is going to have businesses to it. And nobody understood anything I was trying to explain. And now, since we've had 4 months of me being able to explain it, I hopefully have gotten better at explaining it. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments, have I gotten any better at explaining what hustle is? Because you would know best. And so reps, the time of consistent reps and repetitions, and just over and over and over again. So point 4 was time, the right time and the right amount of time given to something drives success. Which brings me to one of my last points. I actually have 2 last points. So is perseverance. Perseverance is the key to success. You can do every single thing before, like all of the things I've mentioned, and you can have the right team. You can know what success is for you. You can have a great vision and a great motivation beyond that vision, and you can have faith, and you can believe that it's gonna work out. And then you can have years of it under your belt, and it can be launched at the exact right time. And guess what? If you don't have perseverance, it's not gonna work. You know why? Because every single thing that you're gonna build in life is gonna be hard. There's going to be a moment, they call it the J curve, where everything falls. It just fails. It sucks. It's horrible. People leave you. That moment in my life was when my board left. It was church-based. We weren't profitable. We were kind of falling apart. My board left. One of the employees started a rumor that the company was shutting down. And so he went to all of our employees, and they all left. And so I was left with half of the employees, nobody standing there with me, nobody having my back. I had one friend at the time who was like, hey, I think this might work. And here's what I think we can do. One friend. That's what's called the J curve. You're at the bottom, everything's failing, you're exhausted, you're tired, and you could quit. And if you don't quit and you keep going, that J curve, you'll find success. It'll blow up. It'll exponentially increase. And that's what people call the J curve. And guess what? There could be multiple. You could have 4 or 5, 6. I have about 3 major things that have happened in business that have really thrown me off and almost shut me down entirely. And in moments, they did shut me down entirely. Like I was like, I'm done. And then a couple days later, I'm like, I can't be done. I love it too much, But that vision beyond is what drives. If you have a vision that's pulling your success, then why would you quit? If you truly believe and have faith that this is actually possible and it can happen, then why would you quit? Right? If you know it's the right time and you've had the right amount of experience, why would you quit? All of those things are going to drive you. All of those things are going to drive you to success. So one of the biggest components to how to be successful at anything is persevere. You have to those who do not quit win. Never give up, never stop, keep going. There's always an opportunity to pivot. Pivoting is very, very, very important. I pivoted on hustle. And some of you may know that, some of you may not. My original idea for hustle was this big mentorship thing. I was going to, coach all these young entrepreneurs and blah, blah, blah. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out for a lot of reasons. It could have worked out, but it didn't. So guess what I did? I pivoted and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. And before people even become entrepreneurs, I want to make them entrepreneurs. I want to build a business for them so that they don't even have to do half of the work that I'm trying to coach people through. And I pivoted, and I believe it's a much better idea at the right time. And I've had the right experience in my life to be able to produce this idea. I couldn't have done this 5 years ago. I couldn't have done this 3 years ago. I couldn't have done this even 2 years ago. I don't even know if I could have done it a year ago, if I'm being honest, for the mere fact that I don't know if I was ready. But it's the right time, at the right place, the right solution. We believe it is possible. We know it's possible deep down. We are convinced that this can be and will be successful. We have the right vision driving this, a vision of impact, a vision of change, a vision of influencing people's lives and impacting people's lives. We know that success is defined by impact, and success that impact will drive us. And we're willing to stick it out. You don't think this has been hard? Holy moly, I cannot believe how hard it is to build a project in Web3, but I love it. I've loved every minute of it. Don't get me wrong, but it is difficult. Ask any founder. It is so hard, but it's so worth it. And we've persevered. The entire team has persevered through everything. The last point, and the reason I pulled this out, perseverance is kind of the one that caps it all. So maybe this might sound like it doesn't fit or it should have fit in before, but there's a reason I put it at the end. And we talked about this on Wednesday with Joel, but the right people. If you want to make anything successful, you cannot do it alone. And the reason I'm mentioning this now after perseverance is because the only thing that will help you consistently persevere is people. It makes it so much easier. Is people being around you to help you persevere, to help you keep moving forward. People to remind you what the vision and the mission and the impact, what is it? Why are we actually doing this? You know, there's a book, Start With Why, incredible. Simon Sinek, fantastic book. You should read it. But if you don't have people around you that are reminding you of the why, you'll forget it. You'll get distracted by the money. You'll get distracted by the fame, the influence, the amount of people. But if you don't have the right people around you, you'll never be successful at anything because no success has been found alone. Everybody says, I have people in my life that are like, Jonathan's a self-made millionaire. I am, in a sense that, I didn't follow anybody else's formula. I didn't, but I'm not self-made in the sense that I had employees doing the work. I had, sure, I took the risk and I built it, but at the end of the day, like I had people around me all the time, like working with me. I had friends and family reminding me, hey, this is why you're doing it. Keep going. The right people will make anything successful. So those are the six. I didn't count them right in the beginning, but those are the 6 ways to make anything successful or to be successful at anything. And that's including your job. That's including your, a project, a hobby, anything. Doesn't matter. The 6 ways to make anything successful is to first define success. What does that mean for you? We talked about how success means impact for me. That is the thing beyond my objectives, beyond my missions, beyond the main goal, so to speak. Beyond that, there is an impact that drives the desire to have impact in this world, that drives my success. Then we talked about having the right vision and the right motivation. That's very much along the same lines of what is actually the motivation has to be beyond your goal and your mission. It's like Hustle's mission and goal is to free people from their 9-to-5 jobs so they make a bunch of money. But what happens after that? Well, the goal after that is that people are free to go spend more time with their family and solve big problems in this world. That's the goal. That's the impact that we want to leave in people. And that is driving us to success, is the fact that there's something intangible at the end of it. Not tangible, not just money, not just wealth, not just fame, it's something intangible that we can't create outside of just focusing on it. And that's the cool thing. Even if you went and talked to every single person on the planet, it would be really hard to leave impact in their life if your only goal was, I'm going to talk to every single person, I'm going to tell them this one thing. And it's like, impact is a funny thing. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, so the third thing was faith and believing that it's possible. If you don't believe that something is actually possible, why should your customers believe it's possible? Why should your employees or the people part of the project think it's possible? And why would your brain try and solve problems for you if it doesn't even think that it's a possibility or that there is a possibility? All you have to do is shift your mindset from it's not possible to it's possible, and your brain will go to work immediately and it will start solving problems for you. It's the simplest, most basic principle out there for success. Number 4 is time. So the right time, building something at the right time, doing something at the right time, and the right amount of time. So getting in the reps, giving something the time to grow. Anything can be successful given the right amount of time to be successful. Perseverance, never saying no, never quitting, never, never. And if those who don't quit win, constantly moving forward in the face of everything and anything. The reality is anything can be successful, literally anything, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, it can be successful. There's a gauge of how successful it can be. And sometimes you should ask yourself, is this the thing that I want to be successful in my life? When the first hustle, just told you guys I had pivoted. When the very first hustle concept came out, after a couple months, I really truly asked myself, and what got me to pivot and build the NFT project is asking myself, wait a minute, is this the thing that I want to be successful? Is this really the thing that I want to give my life to? And it wasn't. But guess what is? This Hustle NFT project. I have never felt more passion, excitement, drive, purpose, impact. I've never felt more vision for anything in my life than I do for this project, because it's what I was born to do, and it's what I love, and it's what I want to be successful. And the sixth thing is the right people that are helping you persevere, that are standing there, that are part of your project. We could talk all day long, and we have. Last Monday, we talked about the 6 biggest mistakes that I made in business. And you might have noticed that there's a couple parallels between the mistakes and the things that make a project successful. So those are the 6 things that help you be successful at anything you're doing. Thank you so much for being part of this. We're super excited about this week. It is Mint Week. I'm ecstatic about it. We have things happening all week long for the project. If you're not part of the Hustle Project, please visit us on hustlenft.com. That's HUSLNFT.com. We would love to have you part of the Discord and the community. We are going to have a blast this week. We are giving away so much. And in celebration of this week, we are also going to have some special shows this week and do AMAs and question and answers and everything inside the Discord. We're excited. We're going to have some fun. Thursday is Whitelist Mint at 7 p.m. Super excited. Get your questions answered. I will be going live tonight in the Discord at 7 to 9 p.m. tonight Central inside the Discord to answer your questions. And then Friday, we have the public whitelist opens at 7 p.m. and we are partying at our Mint party. We rented out this awesome room at this restaurant called Haywire. Absolutely love Haywire here in Texas, Dallas, Texas. And so would love to see you there. If you're one of our founders, it is a founder-only event. And so super excited, guys. It's going to be an incredible week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for just listening and being a part of this incredible community. And I will see you in the Discord throughout the week. And I will also see you tomorrow as we do a little bit of a special edition on deep diving into the business, one of the 5,000 businesses that we're building or we're growing and marketing on YouTube Live. And so tomorrow will be fun, and we'll do a couple special things as we dig into our advertising and stuff. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic Monday, and I will talk to you guys soon.